Hello, my name's Marc Woolward and I'm the Chief Technology Officer and CISO at vArmour. Today I'll be speaking to you about operational resilience, and in particular the areas of technology and cyber resilience, which are also referred to as ICT risk management in some regulations such as DORA. We're going to talk about the common core set of ICT risk management principles across the various global and sectoral regulations and standards. And we're going to demonstrate the approach we take at vArmour to simplify and automate this process and workflow. Our thesis here is that complex digital organisations need to use big data and modern software methods to address the resilience and risk challenges caused by digital transformation in order to continuously remain on top of the requirements to provide digital operational resilience. The benefits of taking this approach include accuracy, proactivity in identifying risks, full coverage of the environment, cost reduction, and the ability to deliver operational resilience as a strategic differentiator. As we'll also see, some really gnarly current challenges can be addressed simply and immediately using our automated, simple approach. As a result of an increasing number of highly impactful operational and cyber incidents affecting the delivery and availability of critical national infrastructure, such as energy and financial services supply, enterprises are facing the need to observe and comply with lots of different operational resilience regulations and standards across geographical regions and business sectors. Fortunately, there has emerged a common set of core principles which define the workflow and best practices for managing operational resilience across each of these requirements. And this includes the NIST special publication on cyber resilience through to the ICT risk management pillar within DORA, which we'll be using as a specific example within this video. Operational resilience has replaced disaster recovery planning in regulatory language. So what does that mean? Well, disaster recovery was focused mainly on the recovery around a limited set of scenarios which were well defined as a disaster. Operational resilience focuses upon the ability to anticipate, withstand, recover from, and adapt to severe but plausible scenarios. An analogy I often use is the Aesop fable about the oak and the reed. In this story, the oak was prepared for major storms during the winter where it dropped its leaves. However, that left it unprepared for the hurricane during the summer. Because the reed was flexible, it could withstand this scenario. Building resilience provides flexibility and agility, and you don't become the oak in the face of an unexpected event. So why do we need to address that now? Well, businesses are now highly complex and interconnected systems of software, services, and underlying infrastructure, which is often based on another complex layer of software and often provided by a third party. So understanding this and managing the risk associated with it is a hard problem. And in order to address this problem, we need to focus on the important business services and critical business functions. The systems that are critical to our businesses, our customers, the systems in which we operate, and more broadly to society as a whole. The problem is today's solutions are manual, expensive, and inaccurate, with some process automation at GRC level, but the fundamental collection and assessment of technical data still relies on manual assessment of spreadsheets and scripts and on the use of external consultants. Working with risk teams across the three lines of defence, we find everyone working towards a strategic goal for providing operational resilience, which is defined brilliantly by Deloitte in their paper on modernising the three lines of defence. And that is to improve efficiency and insight from assurance activities, including 100% assurance coverage rather than sampling, automation of assurance tasks, and real-time insight into emerging risks via data-led continuous monitoring. The priorities of these risk teams going forwards include the ability to assure, advise, and anticipate, which is in marked contrast to the previous approach around planning on recovery alone. Situational awareness of the ground truth relating to the digital estate of the enterprise is a core component of this strategy. Earlier I mentioned the core principles and common workflow present within any ICT risk management program. There are common steps that are defined for pretty much any operational resilience regulatory requirement based upon the ability to generate an accurate and continuous ground truth assessment of the environment. Here we're using the DORA draft articles to identify some of the outcomes and requirements that can be met at each stage of the workflow to manage ICT risk and address that pillar of DORA. Briefly, the steps are as follows. Step 1. To identify and classify the ICT functions. This ensures there are no blind spots and you're able to identify all of the dependencies and risks. In particular, you're able to identify and address the risks associated with systems which aren't being managed effectively. Next we come to step 2, which is mapping the scope and the dependencies necessary to deliver the business functions themselves. At step 2, we focus on understanding the components required to deliver a critical business function, including their dependencies across infrastructure components, services, and upstream and downstream applications. This will allow an organisation to take the next steps in the risk management process with certainty around the data being used. And once you've got here, you have the basis for the future steps in the workflow. So as we get to steps 3 and step 4, we've established the ground truth about our critical business functions and can begin to effectively execute the business impact analysis and undertake the risk assessments required to proactively manage ongoing risk. The additional point I'd make here is that if you can establish this as a continuous and preferably automated process, it means that you can manage your IT risk as threats and your environment changes. And in today's digital enterprise, that's the reality and is recognised in several of the DORA articles. The direction of travel here in dynamic digital environments is towards continuous risk management and controls monitoring versus the annual or biannual manual exercises of 5 to 10 years ago. The vArmour Decision Intelligence platform delivered within Relationship Cloud enables organisations to simplify and automate the workflow required to address the ICT risk management pillar of operational resilience mandates. In the upcoming instalments of this series, we will demonstrate how the vArmour Decision Intelligence platform enables you to meet the ICT risk management requirements of DORA simply and in an automated fashion. I look forward to you joining us for our future sessions. Thanks for listening.